What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican, co-wife on the app stores. Apple, Android, go over and check it out. There's a download link on cowife.com. No more signups, no more 30% off. I told y'all to sign up. So, this is Abuamerican.com. Get over there, check out what I got for you. So, this is a message to the ladies. I've been focusing on the brothers a lot, almost exclusively, and so I'm going to focus on the ladies a little bit here, because the brothers, they know what they have to do, you know. But you ladies, you know, you rarely get solid and sound advice from anybody. Now, obviously, I'm a man. There's limits to what I can offer you in terms of advice, because I've never been in a relationship with a man as a woman. And so I'm not going to act like I know it all in terms of like the female side of the game. But I can tell you that men understand what women find attractive, and they are doing their part to make sure that they are that. And so we know as men what we find attractive. And so, you know, whether you want to hear this or not, there's work due on both sides. It can't be all the guys. You know, you have these very high expectations of men, and if you're going to set all these conditions on men, and men are supposed to meet these conditions, which most men generally are fine with, high value to not high value, then you have to accept that the man controls the frame of that relationship. That's the cost of his concessions to you. Your concession to him is your submission. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was something that's said a lot, but there's no real context to it. And so I wanted to give some context to it. And what is it? It is, men have to build value, women need to maintain it. Now, if you don't know, but I think you do, ladies, women are born with an intrinsic value that men do not share. Men are made, women are born. Well, they're not born women, but you get the idea. You have a value as a female that's very high the younger you are. So, and we're not talking anything, you know, dodgy here, guys. Come on now. But let's just say we go with the legal age of consent in terms of marriage globally, which is generally 16 to 18. A woman is at her peak value in terms of relationship, marriage, whatever else. It's crazy flies, this humidity and all this. I've got these flies out like crazy. So you're at your peak value. Men are the opposite. At his youngest, he's nobody. He's nothing. He has nothing. He has nothing to offer the world. He has to learn his skills. He has to learn his abilities. And he has to build all of that from apprentice to mastery. Whether it's to university, actual hands-on work, whatever it is, he has to build himself into value. And so there's a crossing point, because the older you get, I don't care if you want to hear this or not, this is the truth, ladies. I'm not being harsh here. But your value with time goes down in terms of the market value, and a man goes up. And so there's that intersection point where it crosses and the two meet in equality. And even then, it's still not equal, but because you still sort of like hold the reins of power due to male thirst, but it eventually, the male value eclipses the female value with age and the passing of time. Now, obviously, just like a man can be born into money, or a young man can be born into money, and that sort of like bumps up his game artificially, you can do things to bump up your game artificially. I don't know if it's artificially, that's probably not the right word, but basically, let's say I'm super rich. My son, he turns 18, his value increases exponentially because now he has access to my resources to a degree, if I'm that type of dad, you know. And so if he has access to those resources, now he has the value front-loaded from his father. Now, that doesn't mean that he's appreciated. That's a different conversation. Whether he's going to be spoiled or not, all that is a different conversation. He has access to that. So now he has his youth, his strength, his most handsome years, his strongest years, and the resources of a man who is 2-3 times his age. You know, not 2-3 times, but you know what I'm saying. He's like, you know, 2-3 decades older than him. Maybe he has more resources than that if he comes from a super rich family. In the same sense, you women can front run, or you can front load your value to last longer. You have to maintain your value. And I'm gonna tell you how to do it. One, eat right. You know, don't that body positivity stuff, leave that to them people over there on that side of the game. You know, in Islam, it's blameworthy to have these large bodies, and we know this from, you know, a hadith or two. Take care of your body. You know, that's one of the most noticeable things that a man sees on you when he marries you. And you might think, oh, well, he just loves me for my body, he doesn't love me. No, listen, a man is attracted to you as a woman. You cannot separate you from your body. You are you. But a man can be separated from his riches, his jobs, or all these types of things that make you women make him attractive, or makes him attractive to you women. That he could lose his job, he could lose his resources, he could do this, he could do that. Let's say my rich son example. We all go broke. Recession hits, blang, money's wiped off the book. Crypto crashes, all my cash is gone. Now he's just a regular dude. And he doesn't have the skills because he's been living like a rich dude for the past like 10, 15 years. Now he's like pushing 30 and he has zero skills and he doesn't have the resources. He can absolutely lose everything that makes him attractive, you know, in terms of like his resources and these other things. Obviously, he'll have his physicality if he takes care of himself. His confidence might get a hit. You know, it depends on his type of personality, but you get what I'm saying. You cannot be separated from your body. Generally, when a man loves you and he watches your physical decline, he doesn't stop loving you, but he does stop being attracted to you, and the two are not the same. See, when a man loses attraction to you, that doesn't automatically mean he loses love for you. But you women, when you lose attraction to a man, and I know y'all will argue this, but we've seen it and we know it to be true. When you lose attraction to a man, you lose your love for him, because your attraction is associated with respect, and you can't love someone you don't respect. The trifecta. So, take care of yourself. Eat right, exercise, take care of yourself. There's no reason not to. Why would you not want to be the best version of yourself at all times? You say you love your husband, you love your family, you know, you love the life that Allah has given you, but then you don't take care of the one thing that transports you through that life. You're not the best version of yourself for your children, for your family, for yourself. And the best version of yourself is a fit version of yourself. So take care of yourself. Next, your attention, and your time and your attention. Just like I tell guys, don't give your time and attention to every other woman out there. Thank me, thank Abuamerican that he's telling your man not to be a thirsty simp under some girl's Instagram post or some girl's TikTok. The same applies to you. You can't be giving your time, you can't be giving your attention, and definitely your body. And this applies to the men also with your bodies, because, you know, the haram of it. You can't be giving that to just randoms. You can't give it to randoms. They didn't earn it. Just like those women didn't earn your man's time and attention, you do all the work. You clean his dishes, you know, you take care of his house, you raise his kids, you give him your body, and now he's gonna go off and like just be like, hey, what's up, girl? You know, and he's gonna give all his time and all his attention to somebody else who doesn't do anything for him. If it's a co-wife and you're competing with your co-wife in a good way, inshallah, for his time and his attention and his affections, fine. But some randoms, no. And so the same applies to you. Don't be giving your time, your attention, your affection, any of that stuff to random dudes just in your DMs because he spits good game. Yeah, it feels good. But that random guy in your inbox that you're chatting to, the guy that you know makes it so you don't want your husband to have access to your phone, because that's the only reason why you have. Don't tell me, oh, I got sisters in here and it's, you know, they're uncovered. Don't give me that excuse. It's those random dudes. And you know what that is? That's the equivalent to your husband hiding his phone from you because he's got porn on it. Because what is pornography to men is social media to women. And so your pornography is all that attention that you get that gives you that dopamine kick. And what is pornography to men is that dopamine hit of artificially having access to unlimited women. There is always a mizan in human behavior. It's just society is telling you that you're always right and men are always wrong. And it's not like that. Abuamerican's here to tell you the truth. Don't give your time and your attention to dudes that didn't earn it. He isn't working to make sure you're taken care of. He doesn't care if you're taken care of. He wants to take care of himself and his desires upon your body. He basically wants to masturbate using you. You're his masturbation tool. Now, some of y'all are okay with that, and that's a different problem altogether. You shouldn't be married. You shouldn't be looking for a relationship. You got issues that need to be resolved. You need, like Kevin Samuels would say, you need therapy. you got a whole bunch of problems that should completely prevent you from entering into a relationship whatsoever. You should not be in a relationship with anybody if you're okay with that in your mind. You belong to the streets, stay there. Next, let me see. That's basically it. Did you see how easy it is? Now we're going to get into the final example. And this is 10 minutes, but I want to be as explicitly clear as possible. We're talking about cars here now. People don't like when I do this, but I make the car comparison with you ladies. Now, maintaining value, comparative purposes here, you are a car, or you have a car. Pick which one ever you want. If you don't want to be objectified into a vehicle, then you own a car, and that car has value. And you want to sell that for the highest price possible, aka your mahar. You ladies always want these high dowries. That's your car. The price that you want for your dowry is the car price, right? And men want that car, aka you, or the car that you're selling. Buyer, seller, right? Now everybody wants to connect. Everybody wants to be married. Everybody wants to connect. Everybody wants to do this stuff together. You want to get married, ladies. Men want to get married. The seller wants to sell the car. The buyer wants to buy the car. Yes? A man, he can't come along and be like, yo, give me that car for free. Give it to me for $2. You know, we want the best price possible, obviously. And I know this kind of contradicting what I say about low mahars. The low mahars is the sunnah, but this is I'm trying to give you an example for your personal value, not the mahar value, because the mahar has something very specific from the sunnah saying keep it low. But your value is still, it's disassociated from money. But this is the best comparison I have, so it's the clearest. So don't automatically say, oh, Abuamerican, you're contradicting yourself. I'm not. I'm just giving a very good example, hopefully. So the man has to build his value. He has to build his wealth in order to afford the vehicle that he wants. Now you have to maintain the value of your vehicle. And that means not driving it in the dirt, not driving it at all. Leave that sucker parked. Leave it out of the sun. Put the cover over it. You know, all this stuff around me is covered. Leave the cover on it. Don't be sitting in it smoking. Don't be letting random people come along drive it, aka that whole life. Hey, you know what? Here's this car, $70,000 I want for it. It's got 400,000 miles on it and 18 previous users, or 18 previous owners. And this guy's over here like, yo, this car over here is like, this is brand new. It ain't never been touched. It ain't never been driven. And they want 40,000 for it. Why am I gonna pay you? No, my car's worth it. And you're gonna argue and you're gonna be mad and you're gonna be whatever else, but you trash the value of your vehicle. Driving it around, smoking in it, crashing it up, letting everybody drive it. Let dudes, aka your inbox, come along, drool all over it, touch it, breathing heavy on the windows. Leaving their fingerprints on it. And whether you like to hear this or not, all them dudes in your DM, every time you deal with those dudes, every time you talk to those dudes, it leaves behind a mental fingerprint. You can't re-wax this car. That's it. You have to leave the cover on it. You took the cover off like, yo, look at my car. And now dudes come along like, ooh, oh, that's nice. They're leaving their fingerprints all over it. It's screwing up your wax job. It's lowering the value of your vehicle. You ever seen oily fingers on a black waxed car? It's terrible. You try and buff it out, you gotta rebuff the whole area. And then you rebuff that area, and it might look different than the rest of the area. So then you just gotta rebuff the whole car. But you got the permanent fingerprints on there. So you can't go around demanding full price for your beat up old used car that you just been treating like trash. That car signifies your value. You can't just let anybody have it. You can't let anybody drive it. You can't let anybody have access to it. Like it's famous. Some guy went to the Bugatti dealership. I think it was in Dubai, and he wanted to buy a Bugatti, and he was like, no, you can't sit in it. He was like, I want to buy it. He's like, no, you can't sit in it. He's like, let's do a contract, this, that, the other, whatever else. He goes to another place. He's a serious buyer. Maybe a bad example, but you're getting the idea here. And they're like, yo, you want to buy it? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, this guy can actually afford it. So you can sit in the car, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. That's your sit down. That's your meeting. You know, that's your talk. And then what did he do? He bought the car. That's your marriage. Pay premium price, you know. It's a bit of a wonky example, but you get the idea. This isn't complicated. This ain't rocket science. I'm keeping it as simple as possible. In this comparison, your vehicle has to be in pristine condition. I don't care if it's 40 years old. If it's 40 years old, be a classic. Don't be a beater. Sisters, be a classic. Because you know what? People will pay good money for classics. But ain't nobody paying good money for a beater. A fixer-upper. Brothers don't want that fixer-upper. Brothers want ready-made sisters. Hijab, salah, virgins, or exceptionally low body counts, one husband, most likely no kids. Take care of your value, sisters. And brothers, build yours. Y'all come together, inshallah. The seller and the buyer. I hope that was clear. You know, I made it as fast as I can. You see, I'm at work. This is your man, Abuamerican. I'm out.